What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Board Games Are For Everybody, where today we are talking about Ruk-Shuk, the game of rock balancing. Now, this is a game we've had for a little while now. We found it at a thrift store, and we were like, this seems like a cool kind of idea. It's a game that can be played either by yourself to try and get the highest score possible, or you can play it as a group. I don't think I have a pencil down here, so we aren't going to worry about scoring cards, but we will take a look at them. Just won't worry about actually putting the score down. Each scoring card has the different rock formations, as well as the maximum amount of points you can get for them. When you're playing, if you get the full tower completed, you gain an additional 5 points. If you have 3 of one color of rock, you gain 3 points. And if you put certain rocks in certain spots, as we will see, you gain points for that as well. So those are the scorecards. You can keep track of each individual orientation that comes up, is the correct word. Each player would start with 2 flat rocks that they keep at all times. Now, seeing as there is just the one of us for the time being, I'm just going to get all the other flat rocks out of here. And there we go. I think that's all of them. As you can see, we just have a bunch of rocks in this bag. This bag is just a bunch of rocks. There are 4 different types of colored rocks, as well as standard white rocks. The white rocks are the most basic of rocks. You get 1 point for each of those. Blue rocks are the next tier up. They're a little harder to place down. They have a bit more of a weird shape. Those are worth 2 points per rock. I realize this is also a blue, which isn't going to help us. I don't have one out. I'm going to have to find one. The next tier up is the green rock, which gives you 3 points. Once again, they are a little bit more of a weird shape. We then have the purple rocks, which give you 4 points. Again, the shape is much more jagged than your other rocks. And the last one we got, which there are only a couple of in the bag, is the gold rock, which gives you 5 points, but it would be very hard to balance things on top of it. So the way that the game works is that all of the rocks are placed inside the bag. And you would draw a random card from the stack of orientation cards. Well, I guess we're going to go with that one. The Punakaiki, which I'm going to butcher the names of some of these, and I apologize for that. So this is the card that we have to try and build with the rocks that we pull from our from the bag here. So as you can see, we have 2 rocks on the bottom with 1 rock on top. We have a flat rock followed by 1 rock with 2 rocks on top, another flat rock, and then 1 rock at the top of the entire thing. Now, as you can see, there are a bunch of rocks here that have double and triple points on them. This is an indicator that if you use a certain colored rock in that spot, you will gain a bonus for having that in the spot that it tells you to put it in. So if we were to put a blue rock on the bottom left here, we would not only get 2 points, but we would get 6 points for that. Likewise, with the purple rocks in the middle and the top here, we would gain 8 points and 12 points respectively for having them in those spots. And the green rock, we would gain 9 points if we happen to have it in that spot. So from this point, what each player would do is they would draw 7 rocks at random from the bag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And those are the rocks that they are going to get to use for the challenge. So what you would do is you would start the timer, which I believe this one's is for about 60 seconds. I think this one's a minute timer. So what you would do is you would flip the timer and you would start trying to put the rocks in the orientation to match what's on here. Now, of course, we don't have any green rocks and we only have one purple rock. That doesn't mean that you can't make the structure still. It just means that you won't get the bonus points for those rocks. So we would start our timer and we would start trying to assemble as best as we can. Now, this is kind of a hard one. I'm not sure if I'm actually even going to be able to build this or not, because I'm honestly pretty lousy when it comes to building these. I really enjoy the game quite a bit. I'm just very bad at actually constructing these different buildings. So what I would want to do here, because we only have one purple rock anyway, is we probably wouldn't want to waste the resource in the middle there, and the top one gives us more anyway. Now this is going to be tricky trying to do this top part here. I can't believe that stayed. So now we just want to try and balance this top one here without knocking the entire structure off. Which we did, of course, and the timer was up anyway. But as you can see, that is pretty much the entire premise of the game, is that you're really pushing your luck to see, do I stop and just score what I got the highest for, or do I try and get to the top to gain that extra 5 points? And we honestly did pretty good. We just didn't get that purple brick on the top, but because our tower did collapse on us, we would technically, I guess, only score these two at the bottom, which are technically an orientation. So we would gain 6 points for our blue rock and 1 point for our white rock, which would give us 7 points out of a maximum 62 points for this challenge. So this card would then either go back in the box or just off to the side, wherever you decide to put them. You would take your 2 flat tiles back. You would place all your rocks back into the bag. Give it a good mix up there so it's nice and random. And then a new card would be drawn to reveal the next tower that you're going for. This one is the Pinnacle. And once again, we would do the same thing. We would take 7 random rocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we would start again trying to construct this tower. Now, as you can see, this tower only has 1 flat rock on it. So we would only need to use 1 flat rock for this challenge. So once again, we would start our timer and we would get going on trying to build the tower up without knocking it over, which, as you saw from the last one, can actually be quite tricky. And we knocked it over. So our time's getting pretty close to being done here. So I probably wouldn't normally push this. I'm just going to try and get this set up here so we can give an example of an actual complete tower. If we had gotten one of the easier ones, that would have been nice, but they are chosen at random. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to rebalance this again. So let's say that we just decided to give it a break here. So timer ran out. We decided to stop here. Much better than we ended up with before. We didn't quite complete the tower. However, as far as scoring goes, we still score all the rocks that we did have on. This is how unstable these things can get. You're really waiting for that timer to run out so that you don't accidentally have your tower get knocked over on you. That would be a shame while you're trying to build up here. There we go. We managed to get it to stay. So say we completed the tower before the timer ran out. We would score based on the tiles that we got. So we have 2 whites on the bottom, which would give us a total of 2 points, 1 point per white rock. We would get double points because we do have a blue rock in the second spot here. So that would be 4 points, giving us a total of 6 points. We've got a white rock here, which gives us 7 points. Our flat rock automatically counts as 1 point, so that would be 8 points. We don't have a blue or a green because we didn't draw any, so we just get 1 point each for each of these white rocks, which gives us 10 points, I believe we were at. And then we did get a purple rock at the top, and we get triple points for our purple rock, which are worth 4 points, so that would be 12 points. So that would be a total of 22 points out of a maximum of 53 for the structure that we just built. We also, because we completed the tower when we were going through the scorecard there, for completing the tower, we gain an additional 5 points. And we also gain an additional 5 points because we have 3 rocks that are the same color as another rock on the Inukshuk, which would be the white rocks. So because we had 5 white rocks, that is a total of 3, which gives us an additional 5 points. So we would actually gain an extra 10 points. So that would be 32 points. I think we were at 22, right? So that would be 32 points total out of 53 total points. And then from that point, you just take down your structure. Once again, you just put stuff back in the bag, reshuffle, draw a new card, and you continue doing that until you get through all of the cards, or until you get to a point where you want to stop. But until you go through all of the different patterns that the game has to offer. Now, some are more difficult than others. Some are quite easy. Some are quite hard, as we have kind of gone over. Definitely a difference in skill in a lot of these. There are some rocks that I have never been able to put together of all the times we've played this. There are certain rocks that, rock formations that I just have not been able to put together because of how weirdly they're actually balanced. But that is Ruk-Shuk, more or less. You go through all of the different patterns and you try and balance and get as many points as you can with the rocks that you're dealt. That's really all I have to say about it. I think it's a really fun game. I quite enjoy dexterity games in general, so I like the whole balancing aspect. I like the idea of taking something so simple as forming Inukshuks and making a game out of it. When it comes down to it, I mean, yeah, it's just a bag of rocks. It's a bag of colored rocks. If you really wanted to, you could go down to the beach or something and try and find some rocks you could use. You could make your own version of this game. It really wouldn't be all that hard to do, but if you can pick it, find it in a thrift store or a secondhand shop, that's where we found ours. We've actually found a couple copies of it in thrift stores. Then I would definitely recommend picking it up if you're a fan of dexterity games, like I am. And that's pretty much all I got. If you guys have played Ruk-Shuk, let me know what you think of it down in the comments. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? What are your reasons for that? Did this video make you want to try the game for yourself? If so, again, just let me know down below why you want to try it out now. But thank you guys very much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you guys are on Instagram, you can check out the Board Games Are For Everybody Instagram page. We post games that we pick up outside of the monthly pickup videos. We post pictures of games that we're playing and some stuff here and there, just random stuff that we're doing. So if you guys are on Instagram, you know, come give us a follow. Always welcome to come chat and let us know what you think of the games that we have coming into our collection. So thank you guys very much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I will see you all next time. But until then, just remember the board games are for everybody. Until next time, peace.